Have you ever looked at a piece of technology and thought, wow, that's ahead of its time? Well, what if I told you about a man who wasn't just years, but centuries ahead of his time? A man who, in the year 1509, built something so advanced, so complex, that it shouldn't have been possible for another 500 years. This is the story of Jan Glogauer, a clockmaker from Krakow, and his astronomical clock, a masterpiece that defied the very era it was born in. Back in the early 1500s, the world was a very different place. The Renaissance was in full swing, but our understanding of the cosmos was still rooted in ancient ideas. Most people believed the Earth was the center of the universe, with the sun, moon, and stars revolving around us. Mechanical clocks existed, but they were relatively simple, telling only the time of day. They were impressive for their time, but they were about to be completely overshadowed. Enter Jan Glogauer. We don't know a lot about his early life, but we know he was a master craftsman, a visionary who wasn't content with just telling the hours and minutes. He looked up at the sky and saw not just a collection of lights, but a grand celestial machine. And he decided he was going to build a miniature version of it, right here on Earth. His ambition was to create a clock that did more than just track time. He wanted it to track the heavens. The result was the Jagiellonian globe, also known as the Globus Jagiellonicus. Completed around 1509, this wasn't just a clock, it was an astronomical marvel. At its heart, it was a beautiful, gilded brass armillary sphere, a model of the universe. But what made it truly revolutionary was what it showed. This clock didn't just tell time. It displayed the positions of the sun, the moon, and the stars. It tracked their movements through the zodiac, showed lunar phases, and could even predict eclipses. Think about that for a second. This was a mechanical computer built with gears and levers that could model the complex dance of the cosmos. But here's the most mind-blowing part, the detail that makes this story so incredible. Glogauer's clock was built on a heliocentric model. That means his clock showed the sun at the center of the solar system, with the Earth and other planets revolving around it. Now, why is that so astounding? Because in 1509, this idea was practically unheard of. The famous astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus wouldn't publish his groundbreaking work on the revolutions of the celestial spheres, which mathematically proved the heliocentric model, until 1543, a full 34 years later. How on earth did Jan Glogauer do it? How did he build a machine based on a model of the universe that hadn't even been formally proposed yet, let alone accepted? This is the great mystery of the Jagiellonian globe. Historians speculate that Glogauer might have been part of a small, forward-thinking circle of astronomers and intellectuals at the University of Krakow. Perhaps he had access to early, unpublished manuscripts or was privy to discussions that challenged the old way of thinking. Copernicus himself studied at that same university a decade earlier. It is possible the seeds of this revolutionary idea were already being sown in the intellectual circles of Krakow, and Glogauer was the first to give it physical, mechanical form. He wasn't just a clockmaker, he was a physicist, an engineer, and an astronomer all rolled into one. To build this clock, he would have needed an incredible grasp of mathematics and mechanics. He had to translate the complex, elliptical orbits of planets into the circular motions of gears. He had to calculate gear ratios with painstaking precision to ensure his celestial model remained accurate over time. Every single component had to be crafted by hand, filed, and fitted with a level of accuracy that is hard to comprehend even with modern tools, let alone the hand tools of the 16th century. This wasn't just an intellectual exercise, it was an act of incredible bravery. To create something that so fundamentally challenged the established, church-approved view of the universe was a huge risk. The geocentric model, with Earth at the center, was deeply tied to religious and philosophical beliefs. Suggesting otherwise was not just controversial, it could be seen as heresy. Yet, Glogauer built it anyway. He encoded this revolutionary idea not in a book that could be easily banned or burned, but into the very gears of his creation. It was a quiet, mechanical rebellion. For decades, the clock's true significance might have been missed by many who saw it. They would have marveled at its beauty and complexity, at the moving sun and moon, but they may not have grasped the profound statement it was making about our place in the universe. It was hiding the future in plain sight. It was a whisper of a new reality, ticking away quietly while the rest of the world still clung to the old one. When Copernicus's book was finally published in 1543, it sent shock waves through the scientific and religious worlds. The Copernican revolution had begun. And there, in Krakow, was Glogauer's clock, a physical testament to the fact that this world-changing idea had been understood and even engineered decades earlier. The clock was no longer just a marvel, it was a prophecy fulfilled. It was proof that the greatest ideas don't just spring from a single mind, but often emerge from a fertile ground of shared knowledge, debate, and courageous craftsmanship. Today, the Jagiellonian globe resides in the Museum of the Jagiellonian University in Krakow. It stands as a silent monument to a man who saw the future. It's a powerful reminder that innovation isn't just about having a great idea. It's about having the skill, the determination, and the courage to build it, even when the world isn't ready. Jan Glogauer didn't just build a clock. He built a time machine. Not one that travels through time, but one that was built out of its own time. He built the year 2000 in the year 1500. He built a modern, computerized model of the solar system, 500 years too early. So next time you see a complex machine, think of Jan Glogauer. Think of the lone genius toiling away in his workshop, turning abstract ideas into tangible reality, building a future that only he could see, one gear at a time. His story teaches us that with enough vision and skill, it's possible to build tomorrow. Today, thanks so much for watching. It's incredible to think about what other hidden geniuses and forgotten inventions are out there in history. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about the amazing and the unexpected. We'll see you in the next video.